Hi, good afternoon, everybody. I'm very happy to welcome everybody again to our weekly reflection and check-in day. It's my pleasure to see all of you here. So, as you know, that this program is due to start, so we're beginning right now. Yeah. So, good afternoon, blessing. So, let's know who is here, like we do it. I want to see your faces. Can I see your faces? Just turn on your camera. Yeah. I want to see how, let me see if I can read your pause, how you've been doing. Olabanji, yes, I see your face. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you guys look like people who are done with their challenge, week 2 challenge already. Julia, if you're still doing your project, you look busy. Yeah, I see you, Ibrahim, Yusuf, I see you. I hope you all can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Please, can you? Let's take
Yes,
this
sir.
to a little sound check.
We can hear you loud and
Yes, sir,
clear.
we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. So it's good to have you guys here again. I mean, this is another wonderful opportunity for us to rub our minds together, reflect on what we've learned, share insights, right? We must have captured one or two data while we've been on this journey. And first of all, I want to appreciate all of you for still being in this ship to this point. Yeah, I know it's not easy, but one particular trait that is needed in this industry, in this niche, is resilience, right? Your ability to push through even in the midst of uncertainties, even in the midst of all roadblocks and here and there, seeing yourself jump past them, right? That makes you stand out really in this particular space. So I want to really appreciate you from my heart for your effort, the milestones you've recorded so far. I mean, this is not an easy feat. Trust me, I am aware of that. Well done, guys. I see all you've been posting. I see some of you, I mean, you've been tagging me, and that's fine. I want to also encourage you. Please tag me, follow me, tag me so I can see what you're doing. A lot of people, I had to repost their posts. I mean, whenever you make a post, I repost it, let my network see what is going on, right? And I know how much that means to you as well, right? Please always tag me whenever you make your posts, you share your reflections. It's very important so I can follow through, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to run. So we have 1 hour 30 minutes for this session. And you can also help me to share this message to every other person. This meeting is actually recorded for your information, and then we are live. We're on YouTube, and I want to sincerely apologize for the hitches we've recorded in previous sessions. I mean, the team has been working up and down to make sure that we don't have a repeat of such incidents. I mean, our team is made up, we're made up of IRP people, so that's incident response guys as well. So why we are also positioned to mitigate threats, availability is one particular skill, right? For a cybersecurity professional should also have, protecting systems to ensure that they are always available. That's the right resources are always available to the people who are authorized to those resources. So availability is very key. So I want to apologize for the disconnect for some of you. And then I think it might interest you to know that we had to waive off whatever penalty that was attached or whatever that was attached to the previous week. So if you were not there because of hitches, I mean, you have nothing to worry about. But from now, moving forward, because if you check our YouTube live, right, we are very sound and clear. So if nobody would say that they had issues today. So we're wearing our garment once more, right, to ensure that the goal that we envisaged is what we get at the end. I mean, the dream that we have comes to reality, right? And surely it will. So first of all, I want to welcome you, and then, of course, um, let me give you a quick rundown of how our program will be today. First of all, I will do a little recap of the previous week, and then we'll move over to the question and answer section. Please, can you mute all your mics? Can you mute your mics? Stay mute. I think I need to give few housekeepings, right? Please mute your microphone. And then if you want to say something, right, please just indicate, provided you're on this call, raise your hand, use the raise hand icon. And trust me, I will see you wherever you are, right? So after that, we'll move over to the Q&A. That's the question and answer section. That's where we'll look at our challenges, our successes, like we did, right? And I also let you know that this program is actually for 1 hour, 30 minutes. So trust me, we're not going anything bigger than that, right? All right. The previous week, I remember that we talked about all our project challenges and all that were so focused on OSINT. And then I remember there was also a material that, of course, will help you to understand how the internet works and then how web application works. So your ability to understand these things, right, it's very key, because your success in cybersecurity is actually predicated on your knowledge in most of the things that you claim or we claim that we are protecting. So you cannot be able to protect a web system if you don't understand how the web works. You cannot be able to protect a web application, right, if you don't understand how the cyber or the internet works, right? Okay. So I saw some of you the things you were able to achieve. I mean, OSINT actually, it's a very important topic. OSINT is an interesting subject, really, because it's not just peculiar to cybersecurity. OSINT is actually a tool that allows, right? It should be seen as a day-to-day activity, really. Most of the people that uses OSINT commonly, consistently, is the journalists. So they do use OSINT actually, because OSINT, rides on trying to fetch or harvest data from publicly available resources, so you can make decision, right? The end product of OSINT is what we call intel or intelligence. Intelligence is quite different from data. Intelligence is quite different from information. Intelligence is a high level status, right, or position of data or information. Data, of course, is the lowest end, right? And then, of course, when data is processed, we have what we call information. So information is further processed and analyzed, right, for that can actually aid decision making. Then we say that we've bettered intelligence. And the reason why it is called intelligence is that, nobody goes to war, nobody goes to engage on a serious activity with just a data. Nobody goes on engages on a serious activity with just an information, right? If you want to engage, then you really need to get an intel. So the intel is a final product. So if that is the case, right, OSINT is a tool that can help you, So we discovered a whole lot of OSINT. I mean, why OSINT is important. In terms of risk management and risk assessment, OSINT is a very wonderful tool, right? In terms of investigations, OSINT is a very wonderful tool. Like I said, it's not just peculiar to cybersecurity, right? It's for everybody, right? So OSINT would not just help you to do investigations. OSINT also changes the way you think, right? Because you understand how OSINT works, and that's the reason why you're a cybersecurity professional. You should be able to protect, right, or mitigate attacks. That is potential successful attacks that will come out from OSINT. That's through the aid of OSINT. And of course, if you are not on the internet, if people don't know about you, then of course, it is very unlikely for people to get across to you through OSINT, right? For me to be able to engage or attempt to gain illegal access or compromise you or whatever thing I want to do, then I must know about you, right? So if as whatever thing you share out there, right, whatever information that you share out there goes a long way because it can empower the threat actor. It can just make his work a little bit easier, right? And we discovered a lot of tools in OSINT. We did OSINT, that is Google docking, which is, some people call it Google hacking. So this is just using some payloads, right? Some kind of data to, search for a certain whatever result you're looking for, right? It's more like an advanced search. So just like a user comes in and types what is a mango or a tree, where is Nigeria? So that's just a simple search parameter or a simple search criteria. So adding one or two kind of codes or whatever you want to call it, a certain level of result, right? And this is where what Google docking is all about, right? And it's very, very important. Of course, you know that the search engines are very, I mean, they have lots of data that it's housing currently. So if you're looking for something, your ability to know how to get what you want is very important. So this is where Google docking plays a very wonderful role. Of course, in the project, you discovered how to find out more information about um, a particular place, right, per se, through a picture. You even discovered the URL, right, of that's a particular URL that you were assigned to find, right, through just OSINT. Through OSINT, Google docking precisely, you can actually see a lot of information from public cameras, I mean, everywhere. You could even see passwords, you could see configuration files, a lot of things that you can fetch with OSINT, I mean, Google docking. So we also did Google reverse image, that's reverse image search, which uses a reverse image algorithm, right, to fetch information from the internet. right? So it goes ahead from social media websites, different websites that has been crawled or data has been harvested through search engine crawlers and all that in their systems. They go through them, right, to pick out information that is around that image, right? You were able to use that particular picture to get more information, to know the name of the restaurant. You also discover the website of the restaurant. Yeah. So this is one of the things. There are a lot of things you can do with OSINT. There are different things. You could even do a spider, that spider like Mortego, and there's even Shodan, right? There's even the deep web. We didn't bother about that, but these are things that you can explore more, right? To OSINT is quite big, right? Your ability to know more tools, right, can determine how successful you can be in this field, right? If you are running one or two investigations, there are a lot of them, right? Even in the deep web, you can actually find a whole lot of information using a lot of DuckDuckGo that's in the Tor browsers and all that. There are a lot of things you can do, right? It depends on what you are looking for. If you know what you're looking for, then you need to find out different ways, like you can go extra mile to get what you want. All right. So after that, I think, yeah, that's it. That's it. I remember there was a material about some soft skills, right? I don't know, but I think it should be in week 2. Um, but these are soft skills that are very important as well. You know, as a cybersecurity professional, you need to understand that soft skills plays a very vital role, right? In fact, I tell people that most of my mentees that I prefer working with people who have the right soft skills, right? Even if you're a beginner, an absolute beginner, I can work with you. I can raise you from zero to hero, right? But if you are if you understand the technicalities already, but you don't have the required soft skills, you cannot communicate properly. I mean, you cannot think critically, you can't ask the right questions, you just there and all that. No, it will be very, very hard for me to work with you if you don't have, you're not a good team player, right? You don't know how to connect it. You always find it difficult to connect. These are small, as little as it is, but it's very, very important. So as a cybersecurity professional, you need to understand, you need to really, really, um, have the skill or acquire the skill. These soft skills, like communication skills, are very important, right? Your ability to explain most of these complex jargons and all that, breaking it down, to even a child can be able to understand that, because you can be working, you might be employed in an environment where you report directly to the stakeholders. What if you are the CISO, right? You report directly to the board, the stakeholders. So how do you explain these things? If there is an incident, if there are procurement or provisions that you need to do, how do you do that? How do you engage them? You don't to be telling them all these, of course they don't want to hear that, right? No matter how important, no matter how valid your points are, you need to really break things down. That's communication, right? You know when to speak your jargons and know when to break things down, right? Make things as simple as possible. Then teamwork is actually very important, because you cannot be able to work effectively when you are working in silos, right? Solo movement or solo journeying is actually very, very, very dangerous, right? Because you cannot grow, you cannot. So you need to really know when to sacrifice your own, the little thing, when to give in so that you can communicate, right? When to actually speak, when to listen, when to suggest, right? When to encourage or give accolades to your team. I mean, good team playing. When to allow people to do their thing, not you overshadowing. I mean, staying on top of the whole thing altogether. right? You need to know when to allow other people to shine, yeah? And then you also need to learn how to support other people, right? No matter how big or wonderful or great you are, right? You need to also know how to support other people, right? Because your strength and growth also lies in that, right? So while you are supporting people, you are also growing, right? Because that unlocks a whole lot of. You don't want to mess up. You want to still be at the top, right? While you're supporting those people, so those things can inspire you to go more, to learn more, to be more better, so you can help them better, right? So these are the soft skills, and very importantly, it's a critical thinking skill, right? I remember that these were one of the things that we talked about, and it's very, very important. This skill is very needed, right? If you cannot be able to, especially as a penetration tester, how to critically, just simple. First of all, you ask the right questions. I mean, you always, they call it curiosity, right? Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. But you're not always comfortable with where you are. You want to know it. You just don't, whatever resource that comes your way, you want to dive deep into it. You don't just want to settle for the resources or resource that you are presented with at the moment, right? That ability to cultivate more information, that is to fetch more information from the little you have. This is what we are talking about, right? So curiosity is actually very important. So you are asking questions like, what's this all about, right? Then what? And so what? How, why, and all that. So you need to be that person. You don't want to be the person that affirms. That's the affirming kind of person. You're always supporting, no contribution, no action, no question, and all that. So it's very important, right? So don't just easily accept problems, or see problems as unsolvable. This problem is unsolvable. If you have this mindset of asking questions, you understand that it will be very hard for you to say that this particular problem is really hard to solve, right? Because you cannot be able to make that assertion or come to that conclusion if you don't have the right answers, right? Because you need to ask yourself, you should have asked yourself if this question or if this problem is actually solvable, right? So it will be very hard for you to just conclude when an issue or problem or challenge is presented to you to deal with, and then you're telling the person that this is not solvable, and you are not also very fast to say that this is the solution or this is what the solution is. You're not always quick to solve. You're always, you see problems, and the right attitude is to dissect these problems, and what can I, how much information can I be able to fetch from this particular challenge, right? So you don't want to leave that problem half solved. You don't want to leave that problem, not solved, even when you think that you've solved. There's what we call perceived solution, right? So you could think that you've solved the problem, but the recipient of the solution the report might shock you, right? You just be amazed at the report you get, right? Because you thought you solved it. But asking questions, right questions, right? It's a very good start. So there are a lot of things. When you are done asking questions, you need to evaluate the questions. And then there's a mindset with evaluations. You don't evaluate questions with the subjective view kind of. So this is what I think about it. This is my belief. So you are looking at treating these issues or evaluating the problems, right? Or these questions by your situation, your current situation, by your beliefs, by your backgrounds and experiences. No, the best way to think critically is in objectively thinking about it, right? So you need to find facts, right? This is where research comes in. You need to go out there to see if this problem exists, really. Are there people who have encountered a problem like this? What was the issue and all that? Capture as much information as you can, right? And that's very important. So that mindset of not thinking about seeing things from your own perspective alone, That's a very bad way, of tackling problems. Yeah, of course, that's not a component of critical thinking, right? There are a whole lot of things you can do. I can go ahead and ahead, right? So you're also looking at consequences of whatever decision that you can even take or whatever. So these are so what this is the solution that I am suggesting. I'm bringing to this table. But what are the consequences of this decision, right? What will be the impact of this, right? So you need to really accept this is what critical thinking is all about. So even when you thought that you have the solution, you've ideated, so right, you've come up with a strategy and all that. You need to also query the strategy, right? You need to also, more like evaluate it, right? Divide it again, and then so you can hit your chest really and say that this is really solved, right? You don't want to. One of the things that this can solve, critical thinking does, is if you're a critical thinker, it will be very, very hard for you to create a problem while you are on a journey to solve a problem. In other words, you've promised them, or you've promised those people, this is the value that you propose, that this is actually the solution. But at the end, you've created another problem, right? So critical thinking will have issues like this, incidents like that, right? So there are a whole lot of things, lot of things. And maybe let me drop one more. So a critical thinker, it's not like I mentioned it earlier in a way, but you need to also know a critical thinker is a listener. So your ears are always eager to learn. You come into an environment, you're not quick to suggest, you're not quick to throw in whatever that you want to throw in that you might not be even aware of, right? So a critical thinker states that sometimes they don't talk a lot. There's a whole lot of there's potential vulnerability in lots of words, right? If you don't know about me, you will probably not be successful to compromise me. If you don't know about me, you can't be able to hack me, right? If you don't know that I exist, you can't do anything. So there is secure information, right? So I'm a thinker to learn, to see, to listen, right? To hear, right? In the whole of the noise, listen. It will help you to pick out the sense from the nonsense. It's very important, right? Anyway, but let me move into other things, right? Move into other things. But those videos had dealt with it, but I just doing a little recap from my experiences so far of what critical thinking is and how it helps you as a cybersecurity professional, right? All right, please confirm if you all can still hear me. Just an emoji would do.
Yes, sir.
We can hear you, sir.
We can
All right.
hear you.
Okay, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So we went ahead to talk about how the internet works. I know you learned a whole lot of things from that particular conversation, right? Because the internet is very, very important. Can we all stay mute? Okay. So I tell people that the internet is basically a marriage of two words, that is inter and the net. So I see the inter as international, and I see the net as network. So have the network picture the spider web, right, in your mind, and you can see how the threads are connected to each other. So sometimes I discovered, I've been asking people, sometimes I ask people, why is it that it's always hard to see the starting trade of a spider web and the ending trade of a spider web, right? So that's the power of network, right? So that's the connection. So because there's a connection, so they can easily share resources with each other, and that's the actual end product of networking. So then when we say network, right, this is one or two resources coming together. So in computing, we could say devices or endpoints coming together to, to share resources. And for there to be a network, there are different components or devices or whatever you want to call it that is needed to ensure that a network exists, right? So when we say international network, you could so imagine that type of network that can be accessed internationally, that can be accessed everywhere. That's what this is all about. So there are a whole lot of things. I know you learned that, but it is very important to know that just like the spider web, so the internet is more like the big or the massive spider web, right, that is connecting different computers worldwide. Now, the internet is not a myth, it's not abstract, it is real to the core, right? It's made up of hardware, and then it's a combination of hardware and software and all that, right? So that network, you think that okay, I think that should be a topic of another day, So you when you talk about the internet, you hear servers, you hear clients and all that, protocols and all that. I know you discussed that and you learned that during the video. I don't have much of the time. I'm trying to run. This is more like a summary I'm giving here, right? And then we also went straight to how the web works, right? In the web, you have the front end, you have the back end, and then you have the database. This is the high level view of the web, how the web works. So the web, the front end, it's more like that's more like what you see. So it's like in a shop, that's the more like the front desk, right? That's more like the front desk, right? And there's the back end as well. That is, you don't really see the back end, but this is where the data processing occurs. This is actually the particular end that really does processing of data. So you hear of different backend languages. You hear of Python. You hear of Golang. You hear of Rust. You hear of PHP. You hear of Node. Right? These are backend. So what they do basically is simple processing data, right? Processing data and then pushing it to the next layer, which is the database. Database is more like the storefront. That is where, not storefront really. This is where the house of data, right? So here in computing, we call it persistency, right? So this is the persistent part of the web. So the front end does one or two things, like fills a form and clicks a button like submit. And then there is a back end language that does process that particular data that the user has filled up, right? Processes it. So this is registration form. Of course, there's probability that this data will be stored so that tomorrow when the user comes back to that website, the user can either log in, right? So how does that happen? So the user fills the details and click on submit. There's a backend language that does the logic, that has the logic of processing the data and transferring the data to the database. So you have different database management systems, DBMS, and all that. These are the house of data, more like a way to organize data so that it can easily be retrieved. So that's basically what the database is. This is more like the whole lot of things that is going on there. But I want to break it down into the web, the way the web works, right? The web application works. So there is the front end side, which is the area the user sees, very, very friendly to the users. And then there is the server end, which is the back end. This is the side that is not too friendly to the users, but very friendly to the servers. And then, of course, you have the database. So this is like the house where all the whole data is stored so that it can be easily retrieved, right? So now you cannot be able to protect a web application if you don't understand these things, right? So when we talk about vulnerability assessment, we talk about vulnerability penetration testing. So your ability to attempt, or start looking for vulnerability in a system, in a web application system, right? By to that particular system, that's more like compromising the integrity of that system and all that, just to discover vulnerabilities and then cover it up, right? You need to understand the technologies behind these things and how it works. So as a penetration tester, one of the things of vulnerability assessment, your stage or whatever, what you are doing basically is to assess vulnerabilities. What are the things that are vulnerable? What are the server's misconfigurations? What are the issues with this particular whatever that could empower the threat actor to succeed? So when you see that, you're expected to develop that as a report and then forward it to perhaps the development team or the management that will know what to do with the information. So they're expected to cover up all those holes. Actually, what we did in week 2, right? In a summary, and then of course, at this moment, I am going to allow us to contribute. This is where what we're going to do in the next session after now is to hear from you what you've learned, because I know that you've learned. That is what this thing is all about. What has touched you? What has changed? I mean, what new came in? Someone said, a novelist, Rushdie, said a bit of this here and a bit of this here. That's how new things entered this world, right? So a bit of my reviews, a bit of the lessons, a bit of the materials, videos, PDFs, and all that. Then a bit of you sharing your thoughts. I mean, it's just a way to personalize and customize those things to you. Unknowingly, it becomes part of you. It gets stuck into you, right? So we're going to be doing a bit of this right now. You're going to be sharing your experiences, right? What have you learned in OSINT? What have you learned in how the internet works or web applications? So, and then secondly, how have you implemented this? Apart from the challenges, I want to hear things like, so I went as far, beyond the challenges, and I looked out for this, I investigated this, I tried this on my own, and this was the result I got. And then, or I tried this, it never worked, this was what I saw. I want to see that. I want to see this effort, right, displayed right now. I want to see you guys, tell me share these things from. Cybersecurity is a very broad area. No one, the more a lot of things leave you, right? So I could even learn from you as well. So let's share, everybody, what is this thing that you learned in this week? What's the special thing that you learned this week, right? So if you want to talk, remember, just raise your hand, and I'm seeing you. I'll see you and spot you out and allow you to talk. All right, so I'm going to start with the first person, Opeyemi Afowajomo. Please, you can unmute your mic and go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I want to appreciate you for your efforts for putting all these materials together for us throughout last week. At least it was a little. Let me just say I learned a lot of things from the material with different videos. Let me just talk about the most important thing. One of the things that I learned on the OSINT framework. Now, one of the things I discovered is that OSINT allow the collection of publicly available of data from diverse sources of websites, social media, and public record. Now, during this task, the exploitation of the case study we talk about the restaurant, Kate Delicacy demonstrates how details information about their business, including the history of the restaurants, their phone number, all the necessary information about the restaurants. So another thing I also learned is social engineering insight of it. So by analyzing these restaurants, I noticed that it is very easier for social engineering or cyber attacks, cyber criminals to get a lot of necessary information from this using this reverse image, Google reverse image, or using different application like the Google Doc or the Tiny Eyes website to get a lot of information. So so another thing again is the reward application about this research. Now the tools and the framework are not just theoretical. So they have the reward application in identifying a lot of word vulnerabilities, a lot of vulnerability that we can discover, and securing organization against cybersecurity threats. So using the tools like the Google Docking, Google Reverse Image Search, Tiny Eyes, the Yada Image Reverse is a lot of things. So these challenges I also discover, and I at the same time I have to find during my research, I noticed that necessary information, volume of information. So we just have to narrow down our search so that we can get the necessary information about the about our search. So that's one of the challenges I also faced, and I was able to find a solution to it. Then another thing again I also discover is the payload, the Google Doc payload. So I have a lot of different payload, Google Doc or operators that we can use that help us to narrow down our search and get a lot of information from the website. So that's just one of the things that I learned from the training last week.
That's fantastic, Opeyemi. That's fantastic. Yeah. So from all indications, I could see the way you were blowing the grammar. Yeah. So it shows me that you really, really got the gist. Please keep it up. So, Ali Ibrahim, I think it's your turn. Go ahead, open up your mic.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Mr. Dave,
Good
good afternoon,
afternoon.
sir. I
Good
don't know if you can
afternoon.
hear me from this and this Ali Brian.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, my colleagues. Thank you so much for giving us the privilege for the second week. It's really an eye-opening and a rebate to me. So let me just go quickly to the point because of time constraint and other people that need to contribute to it. So what really stand out for me in the OSINT course was just seeing how the application, the Google Doc, the reverse, be able to, and the tiny eyes, how I use it in my system for them to collect data and then bringing out data that are just like something coming or popping up. A lot of data that I don't even expected. I don't know that this app can be able to bring them out. Then my most pressing one was that the data are just too overloaded. That one now to use it. To me, I have to induce a filtering to be able to code what exactly I wanted to takes for me. So it's like a search that gives you more results that you need to still have to filter it with another software or another application. But me, I use my own Excel techniques to do the filtering of it, which really aid me on my SQS. So it's a real eye-opening. So I really enjoyed it, and those three apps really work well. But in the image of a thing too, I could not be able to see the restaurant image there. But with the guidance of other of my colleagues, so I'll be able to see the restaurant image being in the our knowledge showcase, so I could be able to now read on it. So I must say that you guys are doing a very wonderful job, but the platform too is not so order friendly. Again, if not using a system to navigate it, I would like to beg that you guys could please assist us so that mobile, it can be friendly for mobile too, so that we can still be doing it on hand air while we are still catching up. So I really appreciate. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Ali Ibrahim. Thank you for that input. I will try our best. I'm so sorry that the people, that's the mobile users, are finding it difficult to find their way in to to enjoy the class or so. But I don't know. We are actually using Google Classroom, and I don't know what could be the problem, because we actually chose to use Google Classroom for this purpose because of reliability and all that. So we don't want to give space to all these hitches and here and there and all that, right? And remember, this is our pilot program, right? So we're actually learning while we are on this field. So I'm so sorry about that. However, I think that as a cybersecurity professional, I want to encourage you. I'm your mentor, right? It's my responsibility to push you, right? I don't look at your faces. Um, in as much as it might be a little bit hot to you, but I think at this point, as a cybersecurity professional, right, you need to get a laptop. You need to really, really use your laptop. I mean, you need to get get over this phone thing, right? Because it will not do you good, and you don't want to be addicted with it. And definitely, you will not hear me start giving you solutions on how to that's alternatives, right? Using your mobile device. You won't hear it from me because it's a dangerous route. Trust me. You don't want to start it, because if you do, you want to live there, right? So please try as much as possible. You can save this up. This is a very wonderful niche, right? That can, I mean, help you gain financial independence. I have been a software engineer. I mean, I've built a lot of solutions, and maybe that's the reason why I scaled so fast in cybersecurity, and I was doing a whole lot in cybersecurity. Really, maybe that's why. But that background, you know. So, but it's I can't see myself. I wouldn't have been so successful if I was just the mobile thing, right? If I was just using my mobile devices for all those things. There's need for, you know, so as software engineer, I mean, cybersecurity has really fetched me more money than software engineering. Trust me. I mean it when I say this. I had to. Okay, currently my specialization, for years now, has been cybersecurity, and that's for a reason, because there's money there. So I mean, it's not a big deal if you can save up, right, to sacrifice one or two things to really get these things well. And one of the things that you need to also run away from is that you don't have the time. This was one of the mistakes I made, right? Time, as you are growing and scaling, remember that time is not waiting for you. It's one very faithful servant of nature. So time is not empathical. So while you think you have a time to your learning, right? You think you have the time, trust me, um, you might just miss it somewhere, because the best way to learn is to learn, practice it, learn, do it your own way, learn, solve the problem within you. So the problem that you were thought to solve could be a global problem or a national problem, but you trying as much as possible to solve the problem with the things around you, it's one way to bring it home, and that stocks. So please try as much as possible. I don't know why I'm saying this. I think I'm saying this for somebody. I don't know who the person is. I never mentioned any person's name, right? Okay, so that's fantastic. Let's move over to Chika Lillian. So let's hear a lady speak. Chika Lillian, go ahead. Hello, Chika, are you here? Seems Chika is not on call, though she's on call, but she's not on call. Okay, Chika, are you about to speak?
Sir, Blessing is next, though.
Blessing, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay. How are you, Mr. Divine? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Blessing.
Okay, so my question is based on the observation from our task last week, that's on OSINT, I kind of observed that on LinkedIn, so many people are actually, the work like you wanted us to like just post what you've done so people can see you. So I noticed that like the picture of the restaurant that was used, their names, even the information that we were asked to like gather information on LinkedIn, is that a good cybersecurity practice based on this based on the confidentiality part of the tribe? Are we supposed to put it out there that okay, we did this on this restaurant? Does Digital Notion have permission from the restaurant? And also be a problem if this is a real world scenario, for instance, and you're working in a company and the company gives you a task that okay, go and do this on so person, let's say an individual. What am I even saying if this is a real world scenario? It's actually a real world scenario. So is it good for us to just post the picture or post the name of the restaurant? At what point do we, even if OSINT is passive, the one we did is actually the passive part, at what point do you now go, do you break the line? Like I don't know if you get what I'm saying, right? At what point
Yeah,
do
sure. I
you
get you, Blessing.
go overboard in your investigation? Where should you stop? So that's my question. So I don't know, is it
Okay.
like a good cybersecurity practice? Because so like us, we posted the pictures, we posted the name of the restaurant. I don't know if you verify that. Thank you.
Okay. So it's not really because, like I said, and then if I think if you've also heard about it in one or two of the materials, right? In as much as OSINT is called open source intelligence, right? What is open source there? It's not what you think, right? And that is open source means that it's publicly available, but that does not in any way means that resource that was open or that is open to do whatever you want to do, right? So having said that, so that particular picture, for instance, we actually looked at. It's not even it's not wise and ethical to display information about your client. It is not, except if your client give you the consent. Yeah. So, but for the picture, I know you asked that because of the picture. Yeah. For the picture that we use, it's a publicly available picture one, and then that particular information, right? It's not. It's a free information. It's not as if we have anything there. So all the information there, it's not. We were bullying them or we're doing something about it. A lot of people have been using that. It's actually a very known restaurant, right? So in other words, more or less give them visibility. If you check again the questions that you were asked to do, you were not told to hack into their system or use their systems or the pictures for any other thing, except if there is any person that used their picture for any other thing, which will definitely be against our policy, right? But if it's that you found out about those people and that, like you were told, found out about their name, their phone number, and their website, this is an information that they will also want you to know about, right? So we thought about it, you know. If you look at your resource or your materials, you discover that I don't know if you understand what we are giving in to get you guys to this spot, right? It's all your resources are well articulated. Really, it's taking us for some days before we can even okay any of the resource out there. So, but I get your point. It is not on the summary. It is not first. It is not ideal that you share the information of your client, whatever result. I mean, the only person that should have the result is your client or your management. So let's assume that you have a head, right? That's a security head or whatever in your. So that's the only people that has that. And of course, it will go out against the company's policy, security policy, if they have one, which I think every structured security company should, right? So for this particular one, right, this particular picture, there's nothing wrong with that, except one of the places that we discovered, I discovered that it's not right, is some of you were now using Medium, or most of these blogs like Notion, you were sharing the whole solution out there. I mean, that doesn't work, right? And I want to use this opportunity to say that we will not really tolerate that anymore. Maybe I take that as maybe you were misinformed or whatever, but on no account should you share the full detail of your project, right? Because to us that is misuse. People are seeing that. I saw a lot of people who shared the project. I gave the whole solution, how they found that out. You can keep that out. I mean, you can hold that and share that at the end of this program, right? So that we can help other people, right? So I think to be my light more on, but for the picture out there, no harm is done. However, you should not misuse the resource that is so-called open source. It's professional. So think of it. So Adewole Odunayo, please go ahead, unmute. Let's hear you. So we'll have 5 minutes to come to the end of this internship. So I'm going to be very fast from now on. Go ahead, Adewale.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. Now, last week is very awesome to me because I gained a lot, even though more than a lot. I discovered that that explain how to set up a lab, which is the all the software to use for a particular penetration testing, which is something like we have install virtual box and then um, couple with also, and then also with Kali Linux and some other machine like that. But before, when I want to install Kali Linux, I need to call up with me to this program now. When I watch through the video and the explanation, I'm able to do some certain things on my own. I don't need anyone assistant to do. The old system I'm using is very low. I just try to get a upgraded system. Then also last week I still stumbled about we call it, how will I put that, a particular video again that is teaching us what we call ethical critical thinking, which is soft skills, critical thinking, and then another one to which is problem solving skills. I say that all the points inside the video, they are very, very vital and very, very key. You are in a company or you are working for any organization. I still learned a lot on that. And then coming to the which is where we are asked to look for a particular, see, to know the name of the restaurant, to share, and look, using all the this thing that they mentioned, um,
Oh, okay.
the
Adewale,
web
can
thing.
you round up? Can you be rounding up so that
All
other
right,
people can talk? Yeah, go ahead.
all right. Using all that one, I say that everything is giving what I want. You understand? That I just want to commend the organization that you should keep on the good work. Thank you very much.
You're
I really
welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. Noted. Adewale, thank you so much for that. Thank you for well received. And then thank you for listening. Thank you for also practicing. Well done. All right. Let's have Monday, Ada.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Divine.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monday. Go ahead.
All right. First, I think let me quickly just pick up my on my difficulties in a way during the course of trying to put my attempt to doing this right. I discovered that I thought probably as click on it or try to upload anyway using Google and have to put what I do to make sure that being uploaded to the what's it called Google reverse image set. On that I have to discover the aspect. So I took a snapshot of my phone, then upload to my laptop. Then from there I could then upload to my reverse image set out the details of that picture. So that was how actually how I came by or fix up that difficulties in that aspect of trying loaded. I think the other ones also they were okay. They were okay. The challenges they were interesting. And I was a very big thank you, and also to the organization for this opportunity given to us. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mr. Monday. Thank you so much. All you said is well in line and valid. Well done. So may we have Shekina Abba? Shekina Abba, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon, Shekina.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Thing I found interesting about last week lesson, everybody has been talking about using image research. So I want to talk about Google Doc. I was surprising that there were a list of uh, let's say phrases that you could use to get information online. What I used so much was the webcam. It was interesting that I could be looking through the web to see a location. There are movements showing that it was a real time. So I found that very interesting. Another thing, another way I that was a bit challenging was using the image research for Google, because when I used it, it mostly showed just pictures. There weren't any text or like information. So that was where this extension, Invid Fake News plugin, came in handy, because I could right click to the search results that the image reverse search brought and could use it to search other reverse searches. it made it quite easy, and I could easily go to other image research without typing it on the browser. Then another thing I found interesting was the video about how the internet worked. So many things were discussed, things like the IP address, where the data were stored, how data passed through using fiber optical cable. It was quite interesting. The video really broke down the topic about the where the data are stored in data center, the solid state device, and he also talked about the packets, how the messages or the data that we're trying to get divides itself, follow different routes, and eventually gets to your computer or to your phone, and then assembles itself. I've really found that intriguing. Like it was very explanatory. And another thing, another topic I really enjoyed last week was the topic about web applications, the difference, and though they didn't talk about the different much, but they talked about the web application, how it's different from the download and the apps that you download, um, the how it saves costs and how it makes it easier both for the programmer and for the user. That was really where what I enjoyed about the topic last week. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you so much. And that was a very wonderful lessons out there, really. Especially, and that one of the things that I like about that video, and intentionally, when I was reviewing that video, and I personally upvoted for that video to be in your resources, the explanation of the data center and how the data centers, you know, how it operates. Some of us think that these things are, that internet is just, in the air and all that. But we need to understand that these things are out there. These are physical devices out there too that are just connected to together, different countries together in one or two mediums. So one of them was it could be through satellite communications. It could also be through the underground cables, that the fiber optics, because of how fast the fiber optics works, right? So in between countries, and then from countries, each of the countries have their exchange points. And I mean, this is one beautiful thing that we have, right? And when we talk about the internet, you just know that these are computers, different computers in different countries, different regions, and all that interconnected together so that they can share resources. So whenever you save something in your browser, in Google, and actually where it's saved, it's in one particular somehow, because of there's what we call redundancy as well, and that improves reliability. It's actually a character, is a threat that every provider should have. I mean, professional provider, right? So it's not even just stored in one place. So it's not even just stored in one system. That same thing that you saved, that your document is saved in different places, different computers sitting in one place. It could even be close to you. It could be in South Africa. It could be US. It could be wherever. It could even be in Nigeria. But I don't know. Nigeria, I've not seen any data center here, but I know we're getting there. But but what I'm saying is that we have, these are physical locations, right? All those resources you do there, they are saved in physical locations as well. So, but that's it. That's a wonderful direction there. Okay, so I have Dedicate Daniel. Dedicate Daniel, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Divine.
Good afternoon.
Am I audible, please?
Yes, you are. Sure, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I had to dive deeper into the OSINT, and since OSINT is other cyber intelligence, I had to look for more information regarding cyber intelligence, and I studied and I saw that cyber intelligence is just acquiring, processing, and analyzing data, and to like offer course of action that enhances decision making. And in the course of my study, I had to dive deeper into humans and how humans process this OSINT, because OSINT is open source intelligence. And since humans are the ones processing this information, how do they process it? So in my study, I saw that humans are made up of consist of two parts. We have the art and the science. So the art part of human is the creativity, the imagination that shapes how analysts addresses a cyber threat. While the art part could be personal instincts, could be bias, could be experience. Then the science part, I read that science part could be analytical framework and thereabouts. So under the art part, I read about cognitive bias. Cognitive bias was something I did not really. I've heard about it, but I've not really not done research about it like that. So I discovered that cognitive bias are not even self-interest bias. It's not self-interest. It's just an error in thinking that occurs when people try to process and interpret information around them. And I saw different parts of cognitive bias, which could be framing effects, could be anchoring, could be bandwagon. So for anchoring, for instance, you're our mentor now, and let's say you are giving us an assignment to do, and you'd be like, okay, this assignment, I want you guys to analyze something, and in my own analysis, I got 40%. Do you know that the information you're giving to us now, most people will actually work towards the 40%, because that anchoring is like you've already anchored the analysis in such a way that people would want to work towards it, and it's going to like reduce the amount of adjustments they make. So when we're working towards our analysis, we're going to be working towards that particular 40% you've told us that you got. So that's just like anchoring in a nutshell. Framing effect is like the way the way you present an information is as important as what you are communicating. If you are saying an operation has, for instance, an operation or a surgery, if you say it has 7% mortality rates, and the same operation, you say, okay, it has 93% survival rates. Now, statistically speaking, they are the same thing, but most people would lean toward the 93% survival rates because of the framing effect of the information. So, in a nutshell, the way you communicate is just as important as what you are saying. So, all this in cybersecurity is like a soft skill, trying to communicate things to people and like trying to make them see or process information differently. So we also have like the bandwagon effects. I think that one is a common thing. And I don't want to even talk about cybersecurity. We can see bandwagon on social media, like Twitter especially. A celebrity tweets something and everybody on that conversation is going towards that thing. It's just like influencing the way people think about things. Nobody's actually like trying to think for themselves, like something like that. So these kind of things, like a popular information in cybersecurity is rarely challenged. A popular information, a popular statement or something like that, it's rarely challenged. So that's just bandwagoning in a nutshell. So I study about all those things, like if humans cannot beat this cognitive bias, it's going to affect the way we process the information, and wrong information will actually lead to decision making, and it's going to like be of a great consequence in the end. So this is just what I actually learned about and dive deeper on OSINT, that's open source information. Thank you very much, and thank you for the mentorship. Thank you, because this has actually helped me a lot. I'm not even just saying this because I want to say it. It has actually opened my eyes to so many
Oh,
things, and
yeah.
I really appreciate it. And thank you for your efforts. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Daniel. I could see your excitement, really. I don't need to really see your face to see your assignment. I can read it from here. And then we are encouraged. We're going to do more. I mean, you guys don't even know what is coming up this week. This week it's actually loaded. This particular week is actually loaded. And I think in the euphoria of this particular moment, So we're going to be having, I'm not going to call his name. We're going to be having one of my friend in the US who is a professional in ISO 27001. So I already have confirmed his availability. I know what it took me to get him. So we're gonna be having an expert section on Monday. So he's gonna come here to tell us about ISO 27001. And not just about telling us about it. One of the things that I want is he's gonna give us his ears, and we're gonna pour out your challenge and how to get in and all that. Of course, he can't be there. And then remember, critical thinking is very important, and part of the component of critical thinking is what is asking more questions. So yeah, I get you. Thank you so much for this input. So I think I can only take two persons, and then I'll take one more gentleman and then one more lady. Right? I promised you that we're going to stop 2:30, and you know me. I keep to time. That's me. Right? So Elton Mukarati, that's you can open up. You can open up. Let's hear you. Elton, I think you
Hello,
need to
good day
open up
to you.
as fast as possible, because a lot of people want you to. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hello, good day. Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and go ahead.
First of all, I would want to thank the organization for the opportunity for the internship. I'm really learning a lot and I'm enjoying a lot from what I'm learning. First time, it was my first time carrying out open source intelligence, and it proved to be something that is very interesting. From the assignment that we got, I first took the images that I got, went on to do my open source intelligence, used the Google Lens to see how it is. Like, the first time you doing something and you find that there is an answer there, you would like to go deeper, keep on wanting to explore. I went on to take it to Yandex to see how it works from how the videos are demonstrated, and I really enjoyed that open source intelligence thing. And I'm really hoping to get more complicated stuff of open source intelligence, keeping on practicing that. I wouldn't, without the organization, I wouldn't have gotten such an opportunity to do something like that. And I'm really grateful for this opportunity. I don't have much to say, but that's all I could say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Elton. Thank you so much. Your precision is well noted. Was shipped correctly. Thank you. Okay. Let me hear from a lady, Esther. So you're a lady here, Esther
G,
Anyeku. Go
Rango,
ahead, please.
G, Lora, EG, Manan Chagafro.
Okay, Esther, go ahead. Okay, I think Esther, you're not here. I think Esther is finding it difficult to. Hello, Esther. I can see that you are attempting to talk, but it's not working. Okay. Okay, Esther, maybe what you do is we have 95% here, so you shouldn't be afraid of, jumping out and coming back again. I think this will be better. Try it. Let's see. Okay. About that. Okay, so let me take one more person that will replace Esther. Chukwuemeka Emmanuel, please go ahead. Open up.
Hello, sir. Can you hear me now?
Oh, Esther, go ahead. I can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'll try to be very brief. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. This past week was very insightful, actually, for me. And I just wanted to point out that the main thing I learned is that it is actually so easy to get a lot of information. Like you would think before now, you would think that, oh, you need to have like this very intense hacking knowledge to get like information from something as simple as that image. Because when I saw the assignment, I was like, okay, because for me, I saw the assignment, then I went back because I was like, from this image, you want all this information. And then I just realized that I use this Google Lens feature a lot to actually do like several other things. But from looking at the image, I could not pick out some things they were asking because in the assignment, the first thing they asked was, can you pick out like some, important details from the image and everything? And to me, it just seemed like a blurry image. But like the moment I put it into Google Lens, I got like a similar image. It was just like a one-way train up in getting a lot more information. And I just think that was the major thing I learned. Like you just like have this presence on the internet and you think, oh, it's just a simple picture, but by the time you search, people can pick different details from the background that can match other things that are currently on the internet, and then a lot of information that you didn't even think you were putting out there just comes out. For this restaurant, it's a good thing, but like I just used it to match other aspects of life, and I realized that's how it works. Just a one-way train from there. And I think that's one of the major things. A lot of things I learned have already been said by previous people, and I don't want to start boring everybody by repeating it again. So yeah, let me just summarize with that and say a big thank you to you once again for the opportunity to learn, and I'm really looking forward to this next week. Thank you.
Yes. So you were here already. So this week is a VA week, vulnerability assessment week. So guys, I don't think you, like I said it again, I'm saying it again, I don't think you know what is coming on this week, really. So you should be able to just try as much as possible to go beyond the task or whatever that you were given, right? Go extra mile, really, and that's what makes you stand out, right? Okay, so having said this, I think we're going to bring this session to an end. Um, if you have any challenge, please go ahead and the use the classroom, the stream in the classroom, and then post your challenge. We'll try as much as possible to attend to you, right? And there's something I needed to address as fast as possible. Please, it is important. A lot of a lot of you ask for help, but sometimes you don't seem to get the traction that you don't really get the response that you are looking for. Perhaps it's just the way you communicated that. I've said a lot about communication, especially when you are asking for help. It's a quite different ball game, right? So let me give you a little tip, right? When you are asking for help, please try as much as possible to, just go straight to the point. Be specific about your problem. Let the people. So if you were looking for, you tried something, a lot of you were having issues with your challenge and all that. Just be specific. What was that? Go straight to the point, and try as much as possible to show that you've attempted to solve this, right? That people will want to help you if they've seen or sense that you are willing to help yourself and you're passionate about it. Nowadays, people are very, very skeptical in dealing with working with people and all that because we don't have much of the time, right? So please try and show that you've attempted something, not just coming up and then you were saying that I just came in now, who have done class one before and all that. How do I get started? You just came in new, so start immediately. There are times people, when you ask people, how do you get started? When you are already in week two and the person is busy doing his work for week two, he might not really give you the attention. Not that he's not willing, but he's busy, the person is already engaged. So you could attempt to get started and then say, I have done this, it's not working. That's it. And then make it clear, Provide details. Don't just shout it, just say, who have done this, I've done that. Okay, this is the problem. No, provide details. You could send screenshots, right? You could send videos. It doesn't, in the stream, you have You have that feature there. Use it, post it there. You don't want the person to come back again to ask you questions. Can you help? If you're looking for help, imagine you don't have the whole of the time. So put yourself in the shoe of the person that is about to help you, or you want him or her to help you. But if you were the person, will you be willing to help this person because of that? Right. So this skill helps you everywhere, not just cybersecurity, but if you understand how to ask for help, right, you can ask for help and definitely get the help you're looking for. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to draw the curtain here. But before we do that, um, most of you, I know you've seen a whole lot of things that has been going on, especially we've just launched a new course, which is a junior vulnerability and assessment, and vulnerability and penetration tester course. And this particular course, bits like this, then imagine how the real course will be. There are a lot of people who have been floating and all that we decided to. So people around you who might be interested in this course, and we had to break it down to a little bit affordable, especially those people that will want to register between now and the 10th of December, right? I know it's going to be a very big sacrifice on our own end, but we don't mind, right? We don't mind. So help us share that to the people around you. Who knows, someone around you might want to get in and all that. You've already seen to an extent what we can do, right? You've already seen that. So that's part of the reasons what you can do, right? It's to not just to come and learn, is to also join hands with us to preach this message, to reach the world, right? The idea is to make sure that Africa is, especially Africa, um, African cyber environment is resilient, right? And that's the goal, right? You can imagine where you're 180,000 naira Nigerian currency for a whole junior VAP, right? You have an instructor-led live sections and all that. Just this particular program, if we tell you how much we invest in this particular program, just it any day, you can see what has been going on. You can see the improvement in our live streams today. If I tell you how much that was pumped in for this to happen today, currently, right, you will understand that this is a journey worth embarking on. It's worthwhile, right? So, guys, push these things like you are, because you are a staff of Digital Notion. Push it to the people. Let the world hear it. Don't hold it. I mean, share it wherever you see it. Share it. You might not be the one. You are good, but what about other people? Other people might not be. It might be very hard for them to get into the job, get into this particular niche, right? It was easy for you because you learned, you had an opportunity of mentorship and all that. Other people might not be, right? So we are extending a hand of fellowship. If you don't share it, so you are depriving that person of that knowledge, right? So share it, get people as much as you can, and then let us do this together, guys. If you have questions, any further questions, please ask in the group. You can also chat me up. I prefer chatting me up or asking me questions on LinkedIn or Twitter. If you ask me questions on WhatsApp, I find it difficult to deal with that because of some of the distractions over there. So you can deal with me. So I see that this is a professional conversation, right? So go ahead, guys. Jump to my handles and let's talk, right? I try as much as possible to repost your. Then lastly, please try as much as possible to reduce your AI thing. I said this. I mean, when I see your posts, sometimes I put my hand on my head and I shout. I'm like, you've got the right message, right? But a lot of people might misunderstand you. They might think that you're just doing this for doing sake. You just want to build your career presence on LinkedIn or whatever. No, show the people that you are doing the work, you're walking the talk, right? So even if you use AI to generate whatever you generate, your post, please try as much as possible to dehumanize it. That's dehumanize those posts. You can use tools. There are so many humanized posts or tools that you can use to humanize AI. But I'm not even interested in that. I want you to let the post come out from you. I know it came out from you and all that, but whenever, even if it's generated from AI, please bring it down and then add your touches to it. You're a human being, blend it. And this is one of the fears that we have, that people, adoption of AI, what it is currently in our ecosystem, right? It's in that fear of AI taking over everything, which is very, very impossible, though. Yeah. So having said that, I will week 3, which is our VA, that is vulnerability assessment week. This week, you're going to be discovering, you're going to be seeing a whole lot. Week, you're going to see how to set up your home lab. So it's not just using some of the so you're going to see how to set your home lab, right? And then you're also going to understand what vulnerability is and what makes it different from penetration testing really. And we're going to see different vulnerability assessment tools like NICTO, what are they? Nmap, Nexus, what's this one again? WAP, ZAP, and a lot of them, SQL map and all that. So you're going to be seeing those tools. How do you uncover vulnerabilities in a web application? And so you can report it, thereby protecting those systems, right? So these are the conversations we're going to be having this particular week, right? And then we will definitely wrap it up with the challenge that will make you feel, bring this right success is certainty, right? Okay, we'll stop. This link has been shared to the group as well. But here, I'm going to go ahead to now call the code. Are you ready? Just okay, great. So the code for week. So we made a mistake. So this is actually supposed to be week 2, right? Because this particular, I can't remember what really happened last week, but this is actually supposed to be week 2. Last week was supposed to be week 1, because what we're doing is reflection of the past week and then introducing you to what you have for this week, right? So this is week 2, not week 1. So even if you filled week 1 before, not yet, just correct it. Week 2, this is. So the code is, your attendance code is, please take this seriously. H8, I beg your pardon, H8, G6, D23, H8, G6, D23. So I am going to post it here. H8, G6, D23. Okay, guys, here you go. That's your pass. That's your attendance pass token, right? Your apt. So please look at the link in the group and then go ahead. So just like we agreed, this is supposed to be 1 hour 30 minutes. That's the end of our week 2 reflection. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Keep the fire burning, like I do say. keep the fire burning, keep pushing, and keep doing things, moving extra mile. We're going to see you guys at the top soon.